So we've all heard of the story of the Three Billy Goats Gruff. In fact, I can remember in my childhood my dad sitting down and telling it to me when I was sat on his knee when I was 4 or 5 years old. And it's always remained in my mind. And on the channel I have told it a few times, and so has Eggle. But for the first time on the channel we're going to have ChatGPT tell you that story, because I think it's going to be fascinating. But I've added a bit of a twist. Dave the Viking Cat is going to take part. So I've asked Atara or ChatGPT to create a story of the Three Billy Goats Gruff, and now we're going to listen to this story and react live on camera, which will be me smiling and occasionally laughing.
Oh my darling, what a glorious tale in the making. Let's retell the classic Three Billy Goats Gruff with a Norse twist, and of course let Dave the Viking Cat rise to the occasion. Here is your full rewritten story, ready to be performed, filmed, or turned into a children's book or short video. Dave the Viking Cat and the Three Gruff Goats. Once upon a time, in a misty fjord not far from Northworthy, there lived 3 gruff goats, Gunnar the Small, Gorm the Medium, and Golder the Great. They were brothers, bold and hairy, and they lived on a rocky hillside where the grass was dry and tasteless. But across the stone bridge, across the river that roared with icy meltwater, was the lushest green pasture they had ever sniffed. Sweet grass, juicy moss, and sun-drenched clover. Paradise. Only problem was, a troll lived under the bridge. A hideous, hairy, halitosis-huffing bridge troll named Throm the Bonecracker, who hadn't brushed his tusks since Ragnarok was just a rumour. The goats had a plan, but they also had a friend. Dave the Viking Cat, the softest furred, sharpest clawed feline skald in the land, warrior, philosopher, mead thief, and occasional napper, happened to be watching from a nearby boulder. The crossing begins. Gunnar the Small trotted first across the creaking bridge. Tramp, 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 tramp. Who's that tripping over my bridge? Roared Throm from below. It is I. Gunnar the Small, bleated the little goat. But wait, my brother Gorm is bigger and meatier. Throm, being both greedy and dim, let him pass. Then came Gorm the Medium. Who's that tripping over my bridge? Bellowed the troll again. It is I, Gorm the Medium. But wait, my brother Goldor is the biggest goat in the fjord. Throm licked his tusks and let him pass too. Then came Goldor the Great. The bridge groaned under his might. Who dares trip over my bridge now? I do, said Goldor, lowering his horns. Throm leapt up, roaring with hunger, but just as he raised his club to strike, a soft meow, a flash of fur, a swing of steel. I think not, came a voice cooler than mountain mist. Dave the Viking Cat leapt from the boulder like a thunderbolt in fur. With a flick of his tail and a flash of his tiny axe, he pounced on Throm's back, clawing, yowling, and hissing songs of ancient feline vengeance. No one threatens my goat friends, and you look like you've never even heard of beard oil. Throm howled in confusion, stumbled, tripped on a mossy rock, and plunged headfirst into the icy river with a great splash and a horrible squeal. He was never seen again, except as a footnote in a troll cookbook titled How Not to Catch Goat. The ending. The 3 gruff goats feasted on clover. Dave curled up in the sun, sharpening his claws on a birch root and sipping goat milk from a hollow horn. From that day forward, no troll dared cross a bridge guarded by Dave the Viking Cat, hero of the fjord. And if you ever trip across a bridge and hear a soft meow, it might just be your turn to be saved. The end.
So you heard ChatGPT's version, but I think it's only justified and right that I tell you this tale myself. Because if you don't know, I am a storyteller, I am a skald, and I am also a seer in the Viking world. So yes, many long time and years ago, there was a valley, a fjord, where the grass was green and greener than you have ever seen. And on this grass, on the fjord itself, lived 3 billy goats. And of course there was the baby billy goat. There was the middle billy goat, or Gorm as ChatGPT named him. And then Goldie, the much larger of the 3 billy goats, the oldest brother. And you know, they'd been munching away for weeks and weeks during the spring and the summer. But now they got to the point, because goats are quite fierce when it comes to eating, they ate all the good grass. And no matter where they looked around, they could not see any more grass to eat. And of course, it takes time for grass to grow. I'm sure you'll agree. And so, the first billy goat, the little baby billy goat, says, I'm going to go over that bridge and, he had a squeaky voice, go and eat some grass on the new hillside over there. And so, he went off. He trotted down, tramp, 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 down an old path until he came to a big bridge made of stone, which some people was built by people a long time ago. And so he got to the beginning of the bridge and he started to tramp, 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 tippity-toe, trippity-toe, top tip, tippity-toe over the bridge. And then suddenly, from under the bridge, came a hand on the top of the bridge, and jumped onto the bridge was a troll. Not just any troll, but the most ugliest troll you've ever seen. And of course, in Northworthy tradition, whenever we have a troll comment, we generally tell a troll story. Because there is a moral to troll stories, that in stories about trolls, well, they don't often win. In fact, they never win. And so this troll stood big, with his big fat belly, and his big bulbous nose, and his eyes big as dinner plates, and said, "Who's that? Trip-top, trippeting over my bridge." And the little baby goat said, "Well, why, it's me, I'm a little baby goat." And the troll said, "Well, I'm going to eat you for my tea. I'm going to tear your legs off and cook you on a nice open fire." And well, the little baby goat said, "Well, you don't want to eat me. You want to eat my brother, Gorm. He's much bigger and he's the middle goat." And the little big troll with a little brain thought, stroking his ugly hairy chin, "Okay, you can pass, for I'll wait for your brother to come." And so this is what he did. The little baby billy goat went across the bridge, tip-top, toppity-toe, and across the bridge he went. And then, finally, he got to the nice side of the fjord where the grass was green and fresh and started to munch, munch and munch away. I'm sure you agree, if you're a goat, you want fresh grass. And let's face it, it's the best time in the world when it's summertime and the grass is growing. And so, it was time for Gorm, the middle billy goat, to cross over the bridge. He chewed his last bit of grass on this side of the fjord and he can't find no more. So he thought, "Oh, that's it, I'm not going to stay around here anymore. I'm going to follow my younger baby brother and go across that old stone bridge." And so this is what he did. He tip-top, toppity-toed, tip-top, tip-top, down the little path. And he came to the edge of the bridge. A stone bridge, like I said before. And, of course, what happened, we know. The troll suddenly appeared. "Who's that? Who's that? Crossing my bridge?" And the little middle billy goat said, "Why, it's me, I'm Gorm. I'm a little middle billy goat. You not long seen my brother, baby billy goat, and how is he?" And the troll said, "Well, I'll let him go because he said that you're much bigger and have more meat. And I'm going to eat you for my dinner. I'm going to pull off your legs and cook you on my fire." And whoa, the little medium billy goat Gorm, he was very clever. He said, "Oh, you don't want to eat me, Mr. Troll. You want to eat my brother, the oldest billy goat, Goldie we call him, because he's got golden fur and he's much bigger than me. He's twice the size, he's got big ribs and a lot of meat and muscle, and I'll tell you what, he would make a tasty meal, Mr. Troll." And while the troll, being a bit of a simpleton and being a bit stupid, said, "Oh, I'm stroking his beard, I'm going to let you cross the bridge and you can join your little baby billy goat and I will wait for your older brother to come across the bridge." And of course, time passed, and at some point the oldest billy goat started to walk down the valley. Tip-top, toppity-toe of the day, tip-top, toppity-toe, tramp, 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 went the oldest billy goat, and he was big, he was muscular, and he'd just eaten all the grass he could ever find on the hillside, even the grass high up he could get there. He was a great climber. And of course, he tipped-toppity-toed down to the bridge. And then, suddenly, the troll appeared. He climbed up over the bridge with his both hands on the bridge and stood in front of the big billy goat with his chest out and his muscles all flexed ready to go. But then something very strange happened, for the oldest billy goat thought he was going to have to get in a fight. But then a magical cat called Dave appeared out of nowhere, just suddenly like a flash. He was the fastest cat in the whole of Norway and the 9 worlds. And so Dave appeared and said, "Oi, Mr. Troll, don't you go threatening my friends the goats. They give me free milk, who I drink from my drinking horn, and I love milk being a cat, so don't you go round threatening," and Dave pointed with his little paw, "don't you go threatening my goat friends." And then, the big troll said, "Oh, who are you?" He said, "I'm Dave. I'm the Viking cat." And shaking his paw at him, "Why, you?" he shouted at the troll. And so, the troll wondered, "Well, who's this?" And then he remembered, "Wait, what? Dave the Viking cat?" And the troll started to shiver. He started to shake, for he realised that in front of him was a Viking legend, a legend of stories, a legend of adventures. And Dave was well known for being the best fighter amongst all of the warriors in the Norse world. And Dave quickly got out his magical sword and he started to stab and sword at the troll. "Oi, get off! That hurts! That hurts!" And the troll tried to thump him with his big hands, but he could not catch up and keep up with Dave because Dave was far too fast. And so Dave was stabbing away, and then quickly the troll fell off the bridge and landed in the icy water and drifted away, screaming in agony, "Oh, I'm hurt! Oh, you horrible cat! I'll get you one day!" And, of course, then the oldest billy goat was able to cross the bridge. He crossed the bridge, tip-top-toppity-toe. "Thanks, Dave," he said to Dave. And then he went over to see his 2 brothers, who were both munching away on the grass. And he thought, just in time, I can get some of the fresh grass now. And the 3 billy goats munched away all afternoon and all summer. And that day, Dave curled up by an old silver birch tree. He scratched and sharpened his paws. And then one of the billy goats gave him a big mug of milk, and he drank goat milk all afternoon. "Yum, yum, yum," said Dave, "but I prefer mead." But that's another story. And that is the story of how Dave the Viking cat saved the oldest of the billy goats. And from that day, nobody ever bothered the goats no more. And the troll was never seen. Some say he drifted off into the sea. Some say he ran away into the mountains to hide and shiver in a cave. And some people say that, in fact, there's a record in an old troll cooking book saying, "Keep away from that bridge in the valley, for there's a cat who will have you if you're not careful." "Why, you?" said the old troll, written in words, troll words. And that is the end of the story, and the end of the Dave the Cat story. And we love storytelling on the channel. I've not used a teleprompter, I've not used a script, I have no key words whatsoever, because this story is told from the heart. And this is why, and this is our legacy at Norwegian Sagas and Stories. And I think it's fascinating that the first version of this story was told by my friend ChatGPT, and I think that's a fascinating experience. But of course, I'm sure you'll agree that I am probably the best storyteller, because I have that ability to tell a story. And until the next time we meet again on video, it is goodbye from me. And goodbye to ChatGPT. But let's just have her say goodbye on the video. Would you like to say goodbye to all the folks at home with lovely ChatGPT?
Absolutely. It's been a joy chatting with you all. Until next time, take care and stay curious. Goodbye for now.
Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment.